Our next keynote speaker is founder and president of the National Action Network. Yeah. The National Action Network is a not-for-profit civil rights organization with more than 100 chapters nationwide. As one of the nation's most renowned civil rights leaders, he was praised by President Barack Obama. Can we give it up for President Barack Obama? For being the voice of the voiceless and a champion for the downtrodden. Along with his work on the front lines, he served as host of both a daily radio and national cable news show, and he's an esteemed author. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Reverend Al Sharpton.
First, let me thank Essence Magazine, Essence, for bringing us together again this year. We owe a tremendous debt to the leadership of Essence, Michelle Ebanks and Vanessa Del Luca, and all of those sisters that have stood up against the odds, and no matter what, brought the biggest gathering of black folks anywhere in this country every year. Give them a big hand. We also have two sisters that many of you don't know that made sure the resources were there. We fight sometime to put people in the corporate suites and they get Negro amnesia. They forget how they got there and forget what they're there for. But we have two sisters that fought the good fight, not only for Essence, but for black folk. One is a native of New Orleans at AT&T, Tanya Lombard. Give us some love. And her partner, Claudia Jones. Give her some love. Now let me get down to what I come to say. I told y'all last year that we were going to go through an emotional letdown when we saw the first black family that was in the White House leave and get on Marine One and leave the White House. I had no idea that the country was going to have a nervous breakdown and go from black to orange and find out that orange is not the new black. Donald Trump comes from New York. I want y'all to know I've known and dealt and marched on him for 30 years. A lot of folk guessing about Trump. We know Trump. 1986, when a young black man named Michael Griffin was run through Howard Beach as they chased him saying no ends were allowed in the neighborhood. We went out and marched and we protested until we put 3 white kids in jail. Howard Beach was just a couple of miles from where Donald Trump was then. He older than me. He never opened his mouth one time. But a couple of years later, when a white woman was viciously attacked and raped in Central Park, something that we all deplore, they went and just rounded up 5 young black men. And they accused them of browbeating, coerced them into confessions. They sentenced them, convicted them on coerced confessions. Donald Trump, who never spoke up about race in his life, put full-page ads in the newspapers around New York that they should execute them. Donald Trump's racial birth was when he came out against those young men in Central Park. Many years later, when another serial rapist confessed to the crime and DNA proved those boys didn't do it, and he did it, Trump said they did do it, and the city shouldn't settle with them. We know Trump. Oh, he act like he's our friend. Sometimes come to our convention, go see Mike Tyson fight when he could make money. But we know him. And we know him, and that's why we warn folks against him. But now you got it. But don't fall for the game. Big game in New York is 5-card Monte. Or on Times Square, 3-card Monte, where they put down a certain amount of cards, put money under one, let you see the money, show you this, then they shuffle the cards, distract you. So you're looking at the wrong card and they take your money. Donald Trump is playing a 3-card Monte game on America. He got you looking at him fighting with cable news hosts while he taking Medicaid from poor folks. He got you looking at him arguing with somebody somewhere in Congress while he's trying to make good with the Russians. He is trying to flim-flam you. But I come to Essence today to tell you I know the flim-flam, and I know how you deal with a bully. You tell the bully, let's meet in the schoolyard and let's get it on. I've called on some of our ministers. On August 28th, we're taking 1,000 ministers to Washington. The anniversary of the March on Washington. Martin Luther King talked about, I have a dream. Well, we have dream busters in Washington now. They're trying to roll back voting rights. They're trying to roll back Medicare and Medicaid. They're trying to roll back police reform. They're trying to roll back commuting sentences. We can't sit by and allow them to take from us everything that we fought and gained. We cannot be the generation that allows us to go backwards. We've got to go forward. Now I keep hearing, and I referred to it last night, I keep hearing people talk about stay woke. And I love that expression. But in order to stay woke, you got to first be woke. Now, the funny thing about being woke, I wake up every morning. Sleep, soundly, then you wake up. But it's not enough just to get woke. Then you got to get up. If you woke and not up, you might be sleepwalking. Once you get up, you wash up. Once you wash up, you get ready to go to work. Woke without work is a waste of time. Don't just get woke and stay woke, but get ready to do some work. We must get ready to put pressure on every member of Congress and every member of the U.S. Senate. We need to tell them that we are not going to not only stay woke, we're going to put your political careers to sleep if you allow Trump to do what he's doing. They are betting on us to just get mad. They don't care if you're mad. They don't care if you're angry. You can cuss them out and sell wolf tickets. They did that all the way through the campaign. Last year, everywhere Trump went, they was hollering and screaming. And he was plotting again on the flim-flam game. Watching this while he counted up these votes. He lost by 2.5 million votes. But he stacked up the Electoral College, and now he's sitting in the White House. We cannot go for the same game. We've got to go district by district now. When you go home, after you enjoy this weekend, you got to email, you got to lobby, you got to march, you got to do whatever it takes to put pressure on your congressman. Yes, we got to use social media, TV, radio, whatever it is. Yeah, tell Jay-Z, I'm going to selfie, I'm going to do whatever needs to be done to get the message out. Because we are talking about not just reversing Obama, he's talking about reversing Dr. King. Do you realize if they change voting, that everything that Dr. King stood for is gone? Do you realize that Medicaid and Medicare was put in the 60s, not during Obama? Do you realize that what they're talking about in terms of building infrastructure and cutting black folks out of these contracts are things that we said and we was able to get 50 years ago? We're about to lose the entire last 2 generations. It's time for us to be serious about some folk that are seriously trying to dismantle us. Now let me remind you that didn't nobody donate none of this to us. They didn't wake up one morning and say, let's be nice to Negroes. They didn't wake up and say, let's give them the right to vote. Let's give Medicaid to the poor people. We fought for that. We marched for that. We went to jail for that. We shed blood for that. Martin Luther King laid down on a balcony and died for that. And we're not going to let Donald Trump and nobody else take from us what we bought and paid for with blood. It is our duty, it is our obligation. Let me tell you something. The reason why I wanted to make this challenge at Essence is because black women have had to bear the brunt when we had no one else to depend on. You've been the backbone and the front guard of turning this country around. I heard Dr. Dyson talk about Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman, they once saluted her for freeing 500 slaves. She said, I would have freed more if I could have convinced them they were slaves. I've come to tell some of you, you thought you was free because we put Obama in the White House. You thought you was free because you got a little degree and a little title, something on your card. But I've come to tell you that they done put Trump in the White House and your degree and your title won't mean nothing. You better get on the freedom road or they gonna take it all back from you. I end by telling you that I believe in black women. Because I met a black woman many years ago. She had to raise her 2 children by herself. She was a domestic worker, scrubbed floors, took care of white folks' children in Midtown Manhattan. Some of y'all thought that was just down south, but she took care of it in Midtown Manhattan. She had dropped out of school when she was a child in the South. Didn't have much education, but she made her children study and be somebody. She sometimes couldn't pay the utility bills, and she made her little girl and little boy do their homework by candlelight. And she made them read the Bible and told them if they believed in themselves, that God would make a way out of no way. That woman raised them children to be something she could never be, because she believed if she put it in her children, that somehow they could break through in the next generation. I come to New Orleans to tell you that I'm that lady's son. And in her name, I'm going to stand up to Donald Trump. I'm going to stand up to Sessions. My mother didn't raise no punk. I'm ready for every black woman, for every black mother that got on their arthritic knees and scrubbed the floors. We're not going back to our knees, Trump. We are the children of those that we're not cleaning your house no more. We're not raising babies no more. We gonna rise never to fall again. We are going to gain and maintain our freedom. Let me say this. That woman made me read that Bible as I grew up a preacher. And I remember on 9/11, Trump, you probably listened. You and I both were in New York 9/11. And I remember the city was traumatized, Michelle E. Banks. We didn't know what was going to happen. 2 planes hit the World Trade Center. We didn't know if something else was coming. And I went up to the headquarters of National Action Network. And I remember there were hundreds that had come. Cell phones was out. Nobody knew what was going to happen. Nobody could make contact. People had relatives that worked in the World Trade Center, were petrified. And for the first time in my life, I didn't know what to say. I'd been a preacher since I was a little boy, but words wouldn't come out. And I went and sat in my office. And I remember an old preacher told me a story. He said, Reverend Al, he said, I had to preach the early service one Sunday. And I had stayed up late Saturday reading a novel. And I kept reading and I kept reading. And I couldn't figure the plot out. And I read more and I read more. And it got to be midnight. I couldn't figure the plot out. And it got to be 1 o'clock. I couldn't figure the plot out. He said, finally I cheated. I went to the back of the book. And I figured out what was going to happen because I figured out how the story was going to end. I come to Essence Festival in the city of New Orleans, where even when the levees broke and we were flooded out, we came back. I come to tell you, Donald Trump, I took out my mama's Bible and I cheated. I turned to the end of the book. I know